Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining today's presentation on getting your workplace ready for COVID-19. The coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak was declared a pandemic by the World Health Organization on 11 March 2020. Countries across the world are monitoring this outbreak closely and providing risk assessment while guiding their agencies, stakeholders, and people in their response activities. Long-term success cannot be taken for granted. All sections of our society, including businesses and employers, need to play a role if we are to stop this disease from spreading and still manage to continue our economic activities and sustain them. We would like to acknowledge that this presentation is based on guidance published by WHO, CDC, ECDC, and HSC. The images used in this presentation belong to the respective copyright owners. Also, I would like to appeal to you that please rely on scientific and reliable sources to assess the risk of COVID-19. Also, ensure confidentiality of persons with confirmed COVID-19 and be mindful of persons who may be at a specific risk. This presentation has been made for educational purpose for the benefit of trade and industry, worker community, and general public, and this should not be construed as a medical advice. This webinar is conducted in collaboration with Credentials Global, our online ISO training partner. You can have more information about them at www.credentialsglobal.com. I'm pleased to be here. My name is Sandeep. I'm a chartered engineering and management consulting professional with extensive industry experience. I have functional expertise in strategic management, operational excellence, system analysis and development, management systems and sustainability standards, risk management, technical regulations, and conformity assessment and accreditation. This presentation will assist employers and businesses in providing advice to staff in non-healthcare settings on the novel coronavirus COVID-19, how to help prevent spread of respiratory infections including COVID-19, what to do if someone with suspected or confirmed to have COVID-19 has been in the workplace, and of course advice on travels and meetings. As a group, coronaviruses are common across the world. COVID-19 is a new strain of coronavirus first identified in Wuhan City, China in Jan 2020. Currently, the incubation period of COVID-19 is assessed to be between 2 to 14 days. This means that if a person remains well 14 days after contact with someone with confirmed coronavirus, they have not been infected. How long the virus can survive? Well, how long any respiratory virus survives will depend on a number of factors. For example, what surface the virus is on, whether it is exposed to sunlight, differences in temperature and humidity, exposure to cleaning products. Under most circumstances, the amount of infectious virus or any contaminated surface is likely to decrease significantly over 72 hours. We know that similar viruses are transferred to and by people's hand. Therefore, regular hand hygiene and cleaning of frequently touched surfaces will help to reduce the risk of infection. Signs and symptoms of COVID-19. The following symptoms may develop in the 14 days after exposure to someone who has COVID-19 infection: dry cough, sore throat, difficulty in breathing, tiredness, and fever. Generally, these infections can cause more severe symptoms in people with weakened immune systems, older people, and those with long-term conditions like diabetes, cancer, and chronic lung diseases. From what we know about other coronavirus, spread of COVID-19 is most likely to happen when there is a close contact, 2 meters or less, with an infected person. It is likely that the risk increases the longer someone has close contact with an infected person. Droplets produced when an infected person coughs or sneezes containing the virus are the main means of transmission. There are two main routes by which people can spread COVID-19. First, infection can be spread to people who are nearby within 2 meters, such that droplets could be inhaled into the lungs. Second, it is also possible that someone may become infected by touching a surface, object, or the hand of an infected person that has been contaminated with respiratory secretions and then touching their own mouth, nose, or eyes, such as touching doorknob or shaking hands, then touching own face. So, getting your workplace ready in case of COVID-19 arise in your community, and it is already here. So, develop a contingency plan and business continuity plan for an outbreak in the communities where your business operates. The plan will help prepare your organization for the possibility of an outbreak of COVID-19 in its workplaces or community. It may also be valid for other health emergencies. The plan should address how to keep your business running, even if a significant number of workers, contractors, and suppliers cannot come to your place of business either due to local restrictions on travel or because they are ill. Inform your workers and their representatives as well as your contractors about the plan and make sure that they are aware of what they need to do or not to do under the plan. Emphasize key points such as importance of staying away from work even if they have only mild symptoms or have had to take simple medication, for example, paracetamol or ibuprofen, which may mask the symptoms. Be sure your plan addresses sick leave arrangements and the mental health and social consequences of cases of COVID-19 in the workplace or in the community and offer information and support. For small and medium-sized businesses without in-house occupational health support, consult the information available online from your occupational health service, public health and labor authorities in advance of any emergency. Consult any guidance given by your sectoral organizations, for example, your employers associations, chamber of commerce, sectoral social services, etc. There is currently no vaccine to prevent COVID-19. The best way to prevent infection is to avoid being exposed to the virus. Prevention measures such as those described in this presentation should be taken now, even if COVID-19 countermeasures are not in place in your community. The measures should be included in the workplace risk assessment that covers all risks, including those caused by biological agents as set out in the national legislation. Employers should place posters that encourage staying home when sick, cough and sneeze etiquette, and hand hygiene at the entrance to the workplace and in other areas where they will be seen. Provide workers with tissues and waste bins lined with plastic bags so that they can be emptied without contacting the contents. Instruct workers to clean their hands frequently using soap and water for at least 20 seconds or with an alcohol-based hand sanitizer that contains at least 60 to 95% of alcohol. Provide soap and water and alcohol-based hand rubs in the workplace in multiple locations in common areas to encourage hand hygiene. Continue routine environmental cleaning and consider additional measures as described later in this presentation. Brief the workers, contractors, and customers that anyone with even a mild cough or a low-grade fever, for example, 37.3 or more, needs to stay at home. They should also stay home or work from home if they have had to take simple medications such as paracetamol, acetaminophen, ibuprofen, or aspirin, and which may mask the symptoms of infection. Any workers who develop flu-like symptoms, for example, cough, shortness of breath, fever, should go home immediately and contact the public health service. If it is feasible for your business, promote teleworking across your organization. Allow workers to work flexible hours to minimize crowding the workplace. As a part of COVID-19 countermeasures in your community, the health authorities may advise people to avoid public transport and crowded places. The teleworking will help your businesses keep operating while your workers stay safe. Routinely clean all frequently touched surfaces in the workplace, such as workstations, countertops, and door handles. Use the cleaning agents that are usually used in these areas and follow the direction on the label. No additional disinfection beyond routine cleaning is recommended at this time. Provide disposable wipes so that commonly used surfaces, for example, doorknobs, keyboards, remote controls, Desks can be wiped down by workers. The use of face mask may be considered when working in closed spaces with other persons, or when it is not possible to maintain a safe distance from other people. Such situation may arise not only in the workplace, but also at client premises when carrying out visits or deliveries, or when using public transport. Face masks should only be considered as a complementary measure and not a replacement for established preventive practices such as physical distancing, cough and sneeze etiquettes, hand hygiene, and avoiding face touching. It is essential that workers use face masks properly so that they are effective and safe. It should fit properly, completely covering the face from bridge of nose to chin. Clean hands properly before putting the face mask on or taking it off. Only touch the cord or elastic at the back of the face mask when removing it, not the front. If the face mask is disposable, be sure do so safely in a proper container. If reusable, wash the face mask as soon as possible after the use with detergent at 60 degrees centigrade. The best way to reduce any risk of infection is good hygiene and avoiding direct or close contact closer than 2 meters with any potentially infected person. Any worker who deals with members of the public from behind a screen should be protected from airborne particles. If someone becomes unwell in the workplace and there is no reason to suspect they may have come into contact with COVID 19, the person should be removed to an area which is at least 2 meters away from other people. If possible, find a room or area where they can be isolated behind a closed door, such as staff office. If possible, open a window for ventilation. The individual who is unwell should use their mobile phone to call the designated public health service number. If it is an emergency, if they are seriously ill or injured, or their life is at risk, then you should call emergency number and explain the situation and relevant information such as their current symptoms. While waiting for advice from the designated public health or emergency service, the affected person should remain at least 2 meters from other people. They should avoid touching people, surfaces, and objects, and should cover their mouth and nose with disposable tissues when they cough or sneeze, and put the tissue in a bag or pocket, and then throw the tissues in the bin. If they do not have any tissues available, they should cough and sneeze into the crook of the elbow. If they need to go to bathroom whilst waiting for medical assistance, they should use separate bathroom if available. Consider identifying persons who have conditions that put them at higher risk of serious illness, older people 60 years and above, and those with chronic conditions including hypertension, lung or heart problem, or diabetes, or who are undergoing cancer treatment or some other immunosuppression, and of course, pregnant workers, and avoiding them to take additional precautions such as staying at home. For contact of suspected cases in the workplace, follow the guidance given by your national authorities. The management team of the office or workplace will be contacted by the designated public health service to discuss the case, to identify people who have been in contact with them, and to advise on any action or precautions that should be taken. Risk assessment of each situation will be undertaken by the designated public health services with the lead responsible person in your workplace. They will provide advice on how to manage the staff and members of the public based on their assessment of the risk. The designated public health services will also be in contact with the affected person directly to advise on isolation and identifying other contacts to whom they will give appropriate advice. If worker is confirmed to have COVID-19, employees should inform fellow workers of their possible exposure to COVID-19 in the workplace but maintain confidentiality. Workers exposed to co-worker with confirmed COVID-19 should be given instructions on what to do according to your company policies and the national authorities guidance. Avoid advice on cleaning of communal areas such as offices or toilets and will be given by the designated public health services. Workers who are well but who have sick family member at home with COVID-19 should notify their employer and refer to National Health Services guidance as to how to assess their potential exposure and the measures to take. If the confirmed case is identified in your workplace, the designated public health services will provide advice to workers that have been close face-to-face or touching contact. Anyone who has spent any length of time with a worker while he or she was symptomatic, anyone who has cleaned up any bodily fluids, close friendship groups or work groups, any worker living in the same household as a confirmed case. Contacts are not considered cases if they are feeling well and they are very unlikely to have spread the infection to others. Those who have had close contact will be asked to self-isolate at home for 14 days from the last time they had a contact with the confirmed cases. They will be actively followed up by the designated public health services. If they develop any new symptoms or the existing symptoms worsen within 14 days observation period, they should call the designated public health service for reassessment. If they are unwell at any time within their 14 days observation period and they test positive for COVID-19, they will become confirmed case and will be treated for the infection. If testing is not available, but the symptoms are consistent with COVID-19, they may nonetheless be considered as a confirmed case. Staff who have not had a close contact with the original confirmed case do not need to take any precautions other than monitoring their health for symptoms and can continue to attend the work. A confirmed case of COVID-19 in the workplace will cause anxiety among co-workers and some may become stressed. Clear communication is important, directing workers to reliable source of information about COVID-19. Managers should be supportive and understanding and as far as possible, flexible on work arrangements. Coronavirus symptoms are similar to flu-like illness and include dry cough, sore throat, fever, tiredness or shortness of breath. Once symptomatic, all surfaces that the person has come into contact with must be cleaned, including all surfaces that objects which are visibly contaminated with body fluids, all potentially contaminated high contact areas such as toilets, door handles, telephones, public areas where the symptomatic individual has passed through and spent minimal time, such as corridors, but which are not visibly contaminated with body fluids, do not need to be specifically cleaned and disinfected. If a person becomes ill in a shared space, there should be these should be cleaned using disposable cloths and the usual detergents according to the current recommended workplace legislation and practice. Precautionary measures should be taken to protect cleaners. All waste that has been in contact with the individual, including used tissues and the mask, if used, should be put in a plastic rubbish bag and tied when full. The plastic bag should then be placed in a second bin bag and tied. It should be put in a safe place and marked for storage until the result is available. If the individual tests negative, this can be put in a normal waste. Should the individual test positive, you will be instructed what to do with the waste by public health authorities. Returning from travel to affected areas, people who have returned from the areas where COVID-19 countermeasures are in effect in the last 14 days should avoid attending work. They should call the designated public health service for advice and self-isolate. Advice from your National Public Health Authority is in place for what to do if you have returned in the last 14 days from a specified countries or areas, which is updated on the ongoing basis. All other staff should continue to attend work unless otherwise advised by the national authorities or the employer. Advice for staff returning from travel anywhere else within the last 14 days. These staff can continue to attend work unless they have been informed that they have had contact with a confirmed case of COVID-19. If individuals are aware that they have had close contact with confirmed case of COVID-19, they should contact their employer and the designated public health services for further advice. Finally, let's summarize. Do not shake hands, have a close contact with anyone if you are experiencing cough or fever. Don't touch your eyes, nose, and mouth, or do not sneeze or cough into palms of your hands. Don't spit in public. Don't travel unnecessarily, particularly to any affected region. Do not participate in large gatherings, including sitting in groups at canteens. Don't visit gyms, clubs, or crowded places. And don't spread rumors or panic. Do maintain personal hygiene and physical distancing. Practice frequent hand washing. Wash hands with soap and water and use alcohol based hand rub. Wash hands even if they are visibly clean. Cover your nose and mouth with handkerchief, tissues while sneezing and coughing. Throw used tissues into closed bins immediately after use. Maintain a safe distance from persons during interaction, especially with those having flu like symptoms. Sneeze in the inner side of your elbow and not to cough into palms of your hands. Take the temperature regularly and check for respiratory symptoms. See a doctor if you feel unwell, fever, difficulty in breathing and coughing. While visiting doctor, wear a mask or cloth to cover your mouth and nose. Folks at Standard Certification Council, we can help your organization design and implement your COVID strategy, plan, and of course, execution. Please get in touch with us if you require further assistance. Till then, thank you very much. Stay safe and take care.